Hey guys, for something a little different today, I decided to go with the Lava Lich set. I got the Lava Lich set completed yesterday. Much to my surprise, I actually managed to complete a couple sets. I think the only other one I've completed is the Volcanic Round set. But since I got it, I kind of wanted to try it out and see what I could do with it. And so my gun's not going to change. I'm still just going to be using Air to the Desert with Fortress because that's just a flat damage bonus that I'm going to be keeping. For my helmet, I'm using the Exalted Orb, aka Anomaly's Visage. It just has Anomaly Echo 3 on it, which is a nice Anomaly power boost, and it also has Perseverance Shield on it to help keep me tanky. I also put Golem on my chest piece this time. That way we can maintain some of the tankiness from the other build. And other than that, I'm focusing on eruption-based mods here. I've got the radius by 100%. I have the duration by 50%. I've got improved damage. I've got volcanic dust, debris, and Pompeii. And then even odds here on the boots. This is, so I'm going to go ahead and go into it now. I don't like Lava Lich at all. Not only do you have some kind of useless stats built into the gear, I think, for building a explosion build, but like you have max health on the boots, which does nothing, and then you also have even odds. And max health in general in the game seems to be a useless stat. It doesn't really do anything outside of powering up your passives. And I'm not a fan of that. I think they needed to do something to boost the usability of max health on gear, but as of right now, honestly, there's no reason that this gear should come with max health instead of anomaly power on it, because it's going to be focused for anomaly power on the builds. And like this also has like status power on it, which is really confusing because like the boots I think come with phaser beam mods on it. And so you could try to build this for like a phaser beam hybrid build, but it just doesn't make any sense to me what you're actually supposed to do with that. And we do have the Lava Lich passive bonus here, which increases the eruption damage by 40% and decreases the cooldown by 10%. But as you can see, even with our class tree here, where we're maximizing our cooldown reduction and damage to marked enemies and stuff, we're just not going to be doing that much damage. And that was kind of really disappointing to me to see in the game, because this skill has a 20-second cooldown, and I feel like they want to keep it from being the most OP skill in the game, which is fine, but at least to me, it did not feel that good to use. And I think that's mostly because I think the other eruption skills, or the other explosive skills, don't feel very good to use to me either. And so other than that, we're going to be using Thermal Bomb, which will help us clear packs, but not that well. And we're also going to be using Feed the Flames, which is just going to be our on-the-min health boost, because this class has this spec has a lot more trouble maintaining healthy health pool than the other specs do. And that's just another problem with the build that I have. I haven't put too much effort into trying to min-max this, but I'm just so disappointed by the outcome of this that I don't think I'm going to spend that much time trying to optimize this type of build unless they massively buff explosives, and we'll see. I don't think anything like that's in the patch notes, so right now, just to test this, I guess we'll run Time War Inspire, because that's what we have up, and we'll see how it goes. And as you may notice, I have a new microphone. I went and I found my old studio microphone that I have. It's very old. It's a probably 10-year-old Audio-Technica mic that's running on a outdated USB spec. It's not even USB 2.0, but it is a improved quality over the HyperX microphone that's built into my headset. So hopefully that's a little easier on the ears. And like, honestly, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with clearing this. My game's a little laggy right now. I don't know why that is, but I was clearly aiming at these two guys right here, and the explosion went over there to that one guy. Now we have to wait for our eruptions to come back up because we don't do damage with anything else. Now we get two of them. I don't like the idea of having to use the 2 eruption thing, but I do not see a way that you can work this build with how long the cooldown is without using both of them. Because ideally getting the cooldown to like 7 seconds is what you'd want to do, where you don't need the double one because you can just spam it. But it seems like pretty much no matter what, you're not going to have a choice in running that. Because you're just not going to have the same damage potential as pretty much any other build running Eruption. Not even what I was aiming at, and it's so janky to use because like I was clearly aiming at the guys up there, but it just went to whatever's closest to me, and that doesn't feel good to me. And I mean, the time that we have here is not terrible right now, but it's definitely not on par with pretty much every other build. So we may be able to pull off a gold here, but I don't think so. If we do, it's probably going to be because of the weapon mods. And I'm at low health a lot more than I am on pretty much every other build too, so that it just doesn't feel good to me. Something needs to be changed. I guess running more status effect on my gloves, considering the cooldown's not going to be reduced to anything substantial anyway, it might be good. That way at least you can proc the thermal bomb better by burning enemies with the thermal bomb, and that will help you clear faster. But at that point you might as well just be running the thermal bomb here because since you're using Feed the Flames and Thermal Bomb anyway, I'm almost positive you could squeeze more damage out of those two skills over this. What am I missing here? Am I missing something? Hello? Game? Is there something like all the way back here that just never came up? I don't know what happened. I think this run's just dead. I think this enemy. All right. So okay. Okay, well, we lost a good chunk of time there. That's I don't even know how to explain that. And like I said, or I may not have said it, this build is odd because it doesn't feel good to me to use, but whenever I was testing it with my friend yesterday, the damage honestly wasn't that bad. But like, here now I've got to clear all of this without my thermal bombs up, which is like, you know, give me a break here, guys. Not my thermal bomb, my eruption. Yeah, I was doing damage. I actually did more than a Blighter Rounds Technomancer in that match, but I think that was just because the guy was probably brand new to the game, because we had a random joiner squad. Oh, I like how the helmet has like an effect on it now. I don't know why that is, but it is there. I don't remember that being a thing in the waiting screen. Granted, I think for areas like this, the burst damage is much higher, so completing these pillar drop downs is not that big of an issue. Now, like, I think I'm not doing damage. It doesn't feel like I'm doing damage, but these guys are dropping really fast. I'm also dropping really fast, though, so I guess it goes both ways. Like, honestly, considering the bug that we had, our time here is not bad, but I don't think I'd call it competitive with other builds, especially DPS focused builds, and that's just unfortunate. I really kind of had higher hopes for making use of Eruption because it seems like such a cool skill to use. And honestly, it could be mostly just like how I think it feels to use. Like, it could just be in my head. I feel like I am doing quite a bit of damage. I actually should not be playing like this. I don't think I can survive on this build like I do on my other builds, so I should probably be cutting around more. But I mean, we didn't insta-die there, so I need to make sure I use that because I can't just let it expire and let the other one charge. I have a feeling here I die at the crawlers. I don't think there's going to be much I'm able to do at them. Things to kind of come in here. And then and the game crashed. Hey guys, it's me from the future here. Unfortunately, the game crashed in the middle of the run, which was really unfortunate. Obviously, the game still has some issues, but yeah, just some final thoughts on the build. I honestly think, in part, a fault of the build through this video and why I didn't like it might just be me and me not really synergizing with the playstyle that the build comes with. I think it does do a lot of damage, and that's evidenced in the fact that the first time I played this build, I was with a friend's game, and another Technomancer was in our game. He's a Devastator. And he has a pretty broken OP combo build right now. He does quite a bit of damage, more than any like Technomancers and stuff I've played with so far. And I was still right behind him in damage, even though I hadn't really played the build before and I didn't really know how to do. And usually whenever I play my other build, we're pretty even neck and neck. Usually I'm a little bit ahead or a little bit behind, but it kind of just depends on how long the mobs live, because obviously the burn build requires mobs to be alive a little bit longer to maximize your damage, because you're doing damage over time, not just instant damage output. So yeah, I was a little bit behind him in that video. And here, without the bug that I had in the beginning where the mob just was floating in midair, not being dead, I think that caused the run to be quite a bit slower than it would have been otherwise. And so even though it did feel very slow to me, I think without any bugs or anything, we still would have been on pace to achieve a gold time there. But that's still not very good for Time War Inspire. Time War Inspire is not the hardest clear in the game. And that's just kind of disappointing. I think the Lava Lich set has a lot of serious issues in how the gear synergizes with the explosive tree, because it only works for eruption, and all your other explosion skills just don't scale with it at all. The 10% cooldown that you get in the passive for the skill is just mitigated by the fact that you don't have any cooldown reduction on your gear pieces because some of the gear pieces just don't have the stats that you want on it. I know the boots in particular have health and like status power or something on it, and it just doesn't make sense at all for an eruption build. And so that combined with the fact that there's a cooldown reduction cap of like 66%, I think, somewhere around there, you're never going to get eruption to where the cooldown is short enough that you can just spam the skill. And I think that causes some issues with the skill, because obviously I personally, if I was playing a build like this, I would like to not have the second charge. I would like to just have the eruption itself, since that is the only skill I'm using. And the second charge doesn't recharge after you use the first charge. You have to use both charges in order to begin the cooldown, which I think is a very bad way of doing that. But it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why they did it. I don't know why there's health on the gear. I think Eruption and the set for Eruption needs to be buffed somehow to make it competitive with other builds. It's still pretty fun to play if you're looking for a caster build. It may not be for me, but it's definitely something that you could work with. But just the way that the gear is set up right now with the mods and stuff, I think they need to change something about it in order to make it competitive. I really don't think it's going to be competitive with any other top tier builds, especially if you just compare the synergy that the Akari set has with the rest of the middle tree. The middle tree for the Akari set has way more synergy with the rest of the skills. So that's unfortunate. But that's all I really want to talk about for that. Obviously, I want to plug my Twitch real quick. You can catch me at twitch.tv/xbod every once in a while. Still kind of just popping up streams randomly. Don't really know when I'm going to do it. I may not do that today. But I'm also probably going to be doing some other stuff too here soon. I know if you guys follow Path of Exile, I know I do. The new season got announced today. I'm very excited at the new blood magic skills. I'm looking into making some builds for that. I think that's going to be very fun to play with in Solo Self-Found. I might post some racing builds that I had last season that I was using this season, that I was using last season for this season, because I think they'll still be very competitive and they were very fun to play through. And yeah, I might do some other stuff too. I know I've been playing a little bit of Last Epic on the side, another action RPG game that's pretty fun that a lot of people have been talking about. I tried the Magic ARPG recently, but that was not a fun experience. Believe me, you guys don't want to see any of that. But yeah, I'll probably be doing some other content here soon too, instead of Outriders. I've kind of reached the point where I've done pretty much everything. The only other things I could think of, I do want to still complete the melee build that I have working on, and I would like to finally see the full Akari set, although now I have so much resources in my inventory that there's nothing else I really need to farm for other than just completing set pieces. We've pretty much reached the end of the content for there. I think Outriders is a fantastic game still. I think they just need to add some DLC maybe in the future to expand the content. I hope they'll do some magical things with that. I think there's a lot of potential for the game still. But I don't think it's a game that's going to last people for years like some other games. So I think Outriders' life cycle is maybe a month or two of hype, and then it's probably going to cool down for a little bit. So it's a good game. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, but it's just not going to last. It's a solid, good game. It's not bad. It's not like horrible or anything, but it needs more. It's got a good foundation, but they need more with it. And I hope to see that, but we'll see what they do with it. Other than that, yeah, let me know if there's anything in particular that you guys want to see. I'm very happy that this has been getting so much attention. I expected to hit expected my first video to only get like 100 views in a week. Instead, it got a few thousand, and that's That's wonderful, and people have been popping in my Twitch stream to discuss their builds and how it's been functioning for them. That's also pretty exciting to me. So, yeah, please do more of that, and let me know if there's anything that you guys want to see in the future. I will see you in the next video I post.